Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal video today. We post new earwax removal videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 PM UK time, so please consider subscribing. So in this video we have two patients. Now this first patient's come through, you can see that the surface of this wax very soft and sticky, and you can see lots of remnants around the canal wall as well. That's because this patient's been using some drops. So when you put drops in your ear canal, they tend to soften wax, usually by trying to break the fats that bind the wax together, or by getting oil to absorb into the wax to loosen it a little bit. And what happens then is obviously where the drops have come into contact with the wax, it softens at that point. So what you'll find normally is you get a lot of looser, wetter, more sort of sluffy wax around the outside edge, and then you tend to get these slightly harder pieces, which is what we're working on now. Those are the bits that the drops didn't manage to come into contact with. So we're just maneuvering this out, but as you can see, it's not completely solid. So as we try and bring this out to the ear canal, we've got it to the outer part of the canal here, but it's just not quite solid enough to take out in one piece. So we're having to break this down, and I think it's into 3 pieces altogether. So you can just see the second chunk coming away now. Quite a hard little piece, that one. And then the tail end of that block you can see is a little bit mushy around the outside edge here as well. So as we draw this out, you'll see a little tail of soft wax still just sticking just outside the ear canal there. So we'll tidy that up before we get to the next section. There we are. And when we take a look now at the eardrum, you'll notice that there's a lot of very, very sticky wax. Now that's stuck on the eardrum, all around the canal wall as well. Now that makes it particularly difficult to remove. The reason being is when you use an endoscope, obviously you've got a fantastic view in the ear canal, but it's not a stereoscopic view. So what you need to do is rely on the ear canal anatomy to guide you where you are within that canal. Now when you get a lot of wax coating the canal walls and coating up over the eardrum as well, you sort of lose some of those pointers that we look for within the canal. So you have to go very, very gently at this. And what you'll notice I'm doing first of all is I just cleared a little bit off the bottom of the canal, and you can see me now just trying to clear to the right, to the left-hand side of the canal here, some of the bits of sticky wax on the drum and coming down this left canal wall. So we're going to switch now to the fine end, and we've introduced a little bit of olive oil in here. We do this with a spray olive oil. One of the questions you guys asked in the last video is, do we put that down the Zollner tube? No, we've got a little spray bottle called ear oil that we pop into people's ears. We find that works really effectively to get the oil down to where it needs to go. But you can see now we're just cleared that bottom left corner of the eardrum. I'm slowly working my way around here, clearing off the surface of the drum. Now, because we've got this sort of very soft, sticky type wax, and it's coming off the drum and onto the canal walls, it can reduce the hearing a little bit. So we've got to try and get as much of this away as we can. You can see there how it comes off. You can see that piece just peeling away from the bottom there, how it came off the bottom of the drum and then came up over the bottom of the canal wall as well. So just tidying this up. There we are, just taking some from the entrance here as well. When the olive oil's got in, it takes, sometimes it can take a couple of minutes to really get working. We tend to spray it in, leave the patient on the side, for a matter of a few seconds, and then we go in. By the time we've sort of tidied up around the outside edge and taken the excess oil out, the oil has started to penetrate and get underneath this wax as well. So you can see all these little chunky bits there down inside the valley as well, just coming away off the bottom of the eardrum, just lifting this next section. There we go. A little bit to the right. Now we can get a much clearer view of the anatomy here. We can see the eardrum where that meets the canal walls. So now we can just tidy up this top section just above the hammer bone there. We're just going to very gently, there we go, take that off. You'll see a little bit of oil there just left on the hammer bone. Because the hammer bone here is sort of pushing against the eardrum, the skin is obviously very tight and very thin. So if you try and take it off there, you've got to be really, really careful because you can cause a bit of damage. So we'll just leave that there now for the time being. That will come away with baths and showers and with the natural migration processes as well. So this is what we removed. You can see, just under 4 centimeters here. That's 1.5 inches. So yeah, the pieces to the left side were the chunkier, more solid bits of wax. The pieces to the right-hand side there were all the sort of looser bits we peeled off the canal wall. Okay, second patient is compilation. This patient has come through with, obviously you can see a very aggravated ear canal, very sloughy, kind of wet surface material here. So this patient has a condition called otitis externa. Now, otitis externa relates to any sort of inflammation or irritation to the outer part of the ear. So almost like an outer ear infection then, if you like. So what you end up getting a lot of the time is this sort of wet, sluffy material here. The patient has been using a spray. Now, quite commonly over here in the UK with things like otitis externa, you tend to get prescribed a spray to calm this down and to take the infection, so a topical spray, which is why this material can sometimes look a little bit wet. It can look wet with otitis externa as well, but you can see actually the top layer of skin and this whole kind of layer of debris over the top of the canal walls. So this is almost like I know you guys are not big fans of food analogies, but imagine a very, very thin skin on a gravy or a custard. That's the kind of consistency we're looking at here. So the goal today is to try and clear as much of this off as we can without touching you can see the very red and aggravated ear canal walls underneath, which is always a very delicate thing to try and do because you're always hovering just above the canal walls all the time. But once we cleared this away, the patient then can carry on with their drops, and we normally get them, with their spray, I should say. We'll get them back in then in about a week just to make sure it's all settled back down as well. Oh, guys, thank you so much for everyone who donated to my dad's charity challenge. I'll put a link to that in the video here today just in case you missed it. Amazing response, which I knew you guys would do because you are all fab. You're absolutely fantastic for sharing, liking, donating and everything else. So only a quick one on that, but thank you so much. It's really appreciated. I know Mr. B wants to send his thanks as well at some point, so we'll get a video on with that one as well. So we've managed to clear the bottom half of this canal here. What you can see now is we've just got to clear this top section. Now on the eardrum itself, you'll see there's a thicker layer built up on the eardrum, which is going over to the right side here. So what I'm trying to do here is peel down from this top corner. Look how this is peeling away. Keep an eye on the end of the suction tube and you'll see how it peels down from the top right corner there. And what we're slowly trying to do is very, very gently peel this away. The reason I'm going gently is just below the suction tube to the right-hand side. You'll see a little pink swelling there, and that part of the ear canal is particularly swollen, so it's going to be really, really sensitive. So we've got to be careful around that. We're going to leave that bit to clear last. I'm hoping that by pulling this piece down, it might take some of that debris off. But you can see it's just starting to cut down the the left-hand side. There we are. You can see it's starting to peel off that lump as well. There we go, that bit's come away. Oh, there it is on the entrance here. And get rid of that bit and that bit as well. There we go, and you can see at the top left corner, there's a little bit of sort of dead skin material. So we're just gonna try and take some of that away as well. There we go. And then we've got these little bits along the right-hand side here. Very gently clearing around this swelling. Now, by clearing a lot of this infected debris away, it means that when you use a topical spray, then it's going to actually be able to get to the skin more easily. It's going to be able to kill off that infection a lot quicker. So you can see how aggravated that eardrum looks. It's quite puffy, quite swollen in there as well. Well, guys, no ruler shot for that one, just because so much we got sucked into the tank, I'm afraid. But guys, I hope you really enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing it over. So as always, guys, take care of yourselves and one another. Oh, one last thing, guys, we're doing a clinic refurb here next week, which means clinic is going to be shut down for a week, just so we can get the bits and bobs we need to get done here. Me and Mrs. B are going to be doing that ourselves, so I won't have a lot of time to do other videos. I may get time to post a couple of videos. If I do, great. But I can't promise anything, so bear with us for next week. And obviously our oral info bite video that we normally do, we'll do that at the end of, yeah, we'll probably do that the week after, actually, thinking about it. Okay, guys, well, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. We shall see you again real soon, and have a good weekend.